Hey everybody, it's Ian the Off Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. Looking over at my calendar for a holiday every single day, today is International Women's Day. Today's card is a revisit of the Turnabout stamp set from Concord and 9th. I have used this stamp set before. I'll try to link to that video in whatever corner it belongs in, so make sure to go check out that video. But I wanted to try it again and use some more colors because the first time I only used one color, which made a great card, but I think I like this multicolored card a little bit better. So I use that Turnabout stamp and kind of show you how to do that. So instead of talking about it, let's go ahead and put this card together. Alright, getting started today, we're going to be using the Concord and 9th Turnabout stamp. We're also going to be using the Concord and 9th Turnabout Jig that helps you line the stamp up correctly. And then I'm also going to bust out some Made It stamps. This stamp set is called the Big Time Sayings. I like this Happy Birthday to You script. This stamp set does have a couple of birthday greetings in it, which I think I'll use probably in the future. I've used this one before, but I wanted something that was kind of big and scripty for this one, so we're gonna mash these two stamp sets up together and use them together like this. Remember to always look through your stash of stamps and find stamps that match up nicely together. I think these will work really well together, so feel free to kind of mix and match your stamp sets. You don't have to just stick with one stamp set when you're working on a card, so always remember that. Dig through your stash, find stuff that works together. Let's get this all set up. I'm gonna get it set up in my MISTI and then we'll move on. Alright, so I have the Turnabout Jig in the corner of my MISTI, the bottom left corner here. I have the one facing up right now. It's maybe hard to see it, but I have the one in the top right corner of my Turnabout Jig. I've pushed this as far into the corner as it'll go. Any of the new Turnabout stamps come with this helpful guide to kind of set everything up. So you start off with the side that says this side up, center of rotation point, and there are some like embossed or cut lines into your Turnabout Jig, and all you do is just line those lines up with the lines that match on your Turnabout, I don't even know what this is called, but it's the helpful tool to get it all set up. So I'm going to try and get this as matched up as nicely as possible. It's never going to be perfect. You know, any card that you make is not going to be perfect, and that's fine. So now I'm going to take my stamp, and if I remember from last time, like this really wants to stick onto, yep, it really wants, you got to work out from this, guys. Just try to be careful and make sure that you don't accidentally tear the stamp. I haven't heard of that happening, but you still got to be careful because you never know what's going to happen. There we go. Whew, that's a workout. All right, so now what you're going to do is just basically line it up. Looks like I actually have it the right way. So you just line it up with the stamped image on your lining up device. And it looks like it's pretty close there. May not be exact. Yeah, it's definitely not exact. Maybe I should try that again. Hold on. Okay, I had to look down through the stamp, so I cut that part out because my head got in the way. So now that it's actually attached onto my my acetate sheet here that comes with your Turnabout stamp, I'm just going to use the lines and line it up again, because this will shift. It's not a big deal. It happens, you know, you just line it up again as best as possible. You're not going to get it perfect, but as close to perfect as possible. I'm going to take my magnets and stick them down onto this acetate sheet. It's still going to come up. It's not a big deal. Close the door on my MISTI, pick up that stamp. Yep, sure did. And we'll pull this away. And now we're good to go to start doing some inkiness, getting it all inky and doing all the things, because that's the fun part. Okay, my Turnabout Jig is in the bottom left corner again. I'm going to use some of my adhesive tape, a very small dot of it on the back of my piece of paper, just like that, so that way it stays as close to down as possible. I'm going to use the lines here. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of paper, and I'm just going to line it up in the corners of the guide here, because it actually has both 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 size paper and then another piece of paper, which I don't know the size of that paper, but it also has a square piece of paper that you could put in here as well, because these work great for both rectangular and square cards. Anyways, so now what I'm going to do, now that I've got it aligned, get everything ready to go. I think we'll go ahead and bust out our inks. This is just some of the 80-pound, maybe even be 60. It's 60 to 80-pound paper from Recollections. Nothing special, nothing crazy, just a regular piece of paper that I have put down into it. And today we're going to be using some Distress Oxides. I love using oxides because they stamp so well as opposed to the inks. And you have seen this color combination on my channel before. You know how this comes out, but I think it's going to look great on this stamp set. So I'm using Candied Apple, Fossilized Amber, Lucky Clover, and Blueprint Sketch. So we're going to start off with our Candied Apple and go in rainbow order. I'm going to ink up the stamp, close it down, get the ink impressed onto the paper, and then when it's time to move to the next color, I'm going to pick this part up, I'm going to spin it around just like this, and then start doing the next color, and I'm just going to do that 4 times until I get the panel completely covered. So let's go ahead and speed this up so that way you can see the magic happen. Okie dokie, there's our really colorful card. I love it. Obviously it's not fully put together, but I'm gonna go ahead and take this off of the Turnabout Jig and dry it and clean everything up. This does get a little inky pretty much everywhere, so just realize that things are gonna get really inky. Set that off to dry while I clean everything up. All right, coming back here really quick because package designers, this is like one of the worst ideas ever. They keep putting the sticky side when you're trying to put these back into the packaging, and this is one of my biggest pet peeves with package design, and there's got to be a better way because it just keeps sticking to the stamps and yeah, all right, so there we go. Now it's officially closed, but biggest pet peeve. All right, I'm gonna let that air dry for just a minute. My panel air dry. While I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and stamp Birthday to You from this Made It stamp set. And then we'll stamp the Happy right after that, but I'm gonna be stamping that directly onto the card base itself, and I kind of wanna see how this all lines up and works out. So I'm going to put that right there and stamp that down. Oh, I need to grab some embossing powder, forgot about that, and get that all ready. So 2 seconds. One of my friends gave me an anti-static powder tool, so I'm gonna use that for the first time ever, which is kind of amazing. I don't know how this works. How do you open this? I need to learn how to open this apparently. Oh, it just snaps off. Okay, all right, got it. So I'm gonna use my anti-static powder tool to add some powder onto my paper here so that way it doesn't get all where I don't want it. This is the first time I'm using this tool, so it's a little different for me. But anyways, so I'm gonna use that. I'm also using some Versamark ink, which is a clear sticky ink. If you've never used it before, it just basically is a sticky ink that allows your stamp to transfer onto the paper, so that way, I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Basically, I'm on autopilot and have no idea what I'm actually saying. But anyways, the clear sticky ink allows the embossing powder to stick to the paper where you want it, and then hopefully that anti-static powder tool will help to make sure it doesn't stick where you don't want it. I'm gonna stamp it twice because I want to make sure it's truly stamped well. There we go. All right, and now I'm gonna use some of this Brutus Monroe Alabaster embossing powder. I've never used it before, so we'll see how well this works. All right, there's the sentiment. I just need to cut it down, so I'll do that. And always use a coffee filter. They're cheap, they're easy, and you can funnel your embossing powder right back into your container from it. It's so wonderful. This was a tip given to me, not directly to me, but in a YouTube video, I don't even remember how long ago, and it has saved my butt way more than once. So always use coffee filters. They work so well. I did hit this panel with some heat just to make sure that everything is dried. I'm gonna test this out. I haven't put any anti-static powder onto it yet, but I do want to test this out and make sure that none of my powder is gonna be my embossing powder is gonna be sticking. Yeah, so it's dry, it's not sticking to it. I always recommend testing it. I learned that from Jennifer McGuire and was it Jennifer McGuire or was it Christina Warner? I don't know. One of the amazing card makers kind of gave that as a tip, and I have really taken it to heart now that I have an anti-static powder tool. So I'm just going to go over the surface with my anti-stick powder tool to make sure that everything doesn't get sticky and it doesn't go where I don't want it to, basically. All right, I have my sentiment where I believe I want it. It's gonna go right in the center of the card. So I'm gonna use some Versa Fine ink. Now I'm switching over to Versa Fine because I want a nice black crisp impression whenever I stamp this out. And then I'm gonna use some clear embossing powder on top of that, so that way it preserves that nice dark image and allows you to see through it quite nicely. Alright, it's time to start the assembly of the card. I've gotten all my elements together, so I'm going to use some of my dot adhesive roller to spread out some adhesive on the front panel. I'm going to place on the front of the card. By the way, guys, this is Neenah Solar White 110 pound cardstock. My go-to for making card bases, and then I'm going to put my card panel right on top of that. Just like you would any other, oh geez, come on. Not like that, hopefully. Hopefully I can put this on straight and level. I always tend to mess them up just a little bit. Yeah, it's a little off, but you know, that's part of the handmade card process, right? All right, so we've gotten that down just like that. And so now what we need to do is I'm gonna cut a kind of like half strip of this foam tape off. And we're going to apply it to the back of my sentiment. Think about like that long. Yeah, that should work. All right, there's my little piece of half tape that I'm going to peel off the backing paper for. And we're going to stick it on. How do I want this? I want it kind of at an angle. Do I want it up here? I feel like I want it down there, but do I want it up here? Or do I want it down there? So many decisions. I was gonna cover up the P and the base of the P and the Y with the sentiment, but I feel like that would just kind of look a little, like you would get the idea, but I don't know. It just, to me, seems better by not doing that. So put it up here so that way it's a little, I don't know. What do you think, guys? Did I do it in the right place, or do you think it should have gone somewhere else? Let me know down in the comments if you agree of the placement of where I put the birthday to you. Using a turnabout stamp can be a little bit complicated, but as long as you take it step by step, it's not too hard, and the effect is really great. It looks like you did a whole lot more work than what you really did. I have more ideas on how I'm going to use this stamp set, but I think I'll have to save those for another day. If you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up, let YouTube know that you liked my video today, and then hopefully YouTube will then share it across YouTube land. Also, if you're not already, hit that button down below that says subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and get great updates every time I post a new video or go live right here on YouTube by making sure to click that bell icon. That bell icon lets YouTube know that you want to receive those notifications, so that way when I go live or post a new video, you know as soon as it happens. Also guys, down in the description below, make sure to check out all the links to my social media pages. Come get social with me, conversate, have some fun, and I've been really active on Instagram, so go check that out as well. Alright, I think that's going to do it for today's video. Happy International Women's Day, and make sure that all the women in your life know that they are appreciated. I hope everybody has a great day, and remember guys, normal is just a setting on the dryer. Bye!